Let's get right into it, y'all. Here we have Erick Mini Pacman Rosa, 8-0, 2 knockouts, southpaw, fighting out of the Dominican Republic. He is only 25 years old. They call him Mini Pacman, even though stylistically, I don't think he fights anything like Pacman, besides the fact that he's a southpaw, and then he has moments where he punches, and he does punch the body a lot. Versus Kyosuke Takami. I knew I was going to rip that one up. 9-0, 7 knockouts, 23 years old, fighting out of Japan, orthodox fighter. A lot of people talk about this guy is going to be the next guy in Japan. So we're going to kind of get into that here. Let's get into the actual X's and O's. This is Erick Rosa's first fight fighting out of the Dominican Republic, which I think is interesting to talk about. Going into Japan, which is a heavy task for anybody, and he's going against Japan against a hell of a fighter and someone that has a lot of hype behind him. Finding tape for Erick Rosa was quite frankly super easy. Got all my notes here ready. And finding tape for Takami was a little bit more difficult. Had to scour everything from Google, Bing, all the freaking way to Twitter, y'all. Shout out to all the Twitter people on that have all the I even watched the Lino Donito fight on a fucking singular ring angle from the bottom right corner. It was absolutely insane. So, speaking about Erick Rosa, let's get into the X's and O's. Versus Pino, 8-round fight. Pino had no reason to be in there with him. He had one winning record opponent coming off a knockout, only fought past 8 rounds one single time. So I have no idea why he was in there. And the fact that, honestly, that Rosas took him 8 rounds was absolutely insane. Great body puncher, good ring control, has a sneaky uppercut, super susceptible to the right hand. He's good at getting under punches with looping and ducking. Minimal head movement when he shells up and he gets punched through the guard, quite frankly. Good on the front foot, great feet when he's actually on the front foot, but he does cross his feet when he resets, which I find very interesting. He's a trader. He does yo-yo. He's not really a punch on the first and punch on the third. He's going to trade with you. You go, I go. You go, I go. And you see that consistently in every single one of his fights. He's going to walk you down, and he sets up his left hand extremely well. These are all the takeaways I had from the Pino fight. His feet slowed extremely hard after round 5. I don't know if that had to do with punching himself out, but it kind of becomes a habit, as you see later in his other fights. He allowed Pino not only to control the head space, but also push him into control, push him into neutral corners. He seemed to lose his shape and his footing really hard after the 6th round. In the 8th round, he looked really good, though, I will say, put on some killer instinct, punched the body from hell. And he got Pino out of there really with a stoppage on the stool. Pino should have never been in there, like I stated before. A fight against Uriel Reyes, fight of the year, fucking barely any notes on it. They both stood in the middle. They both traded. They both scrapped. But here are the thoughts that I did say. Hellacious body puncher, again, susceptible to right hands. Rounds 1 through 3, all he did was play that yo-yo style of fighting. And then rounds 4 and 5, you saw him switch game plans a little bit, pressure Reyes a little bit against the ropes while playing a little bit better footwork, but that also all went out of the game plan in the last minute of each of those rounds. Reyes, quite frankly, was pushing him back in multitude of moments, which I think is going to be really interesting for this Takami fight as well. Takami fight, I'm sorry. I am horrible with name pronunciations, y'all. Please note that right off rips. I'm a dumbass white American, so forgive me for that. So Rosas was credited with a knockdown in the 12th round versus Reyes, which I thought really wasn't a knockdown at all. It was more of a wrist punch, and he almost pushed him down in a way. Rosas, on the other hand, came out, was completely fine, knew that he was completely fine, knew he had to batter the post in the 12th round, and he came out like a bat out of hell and almost finished Rosas in the 12th round. I think Rosas has a real problem with slowing his feet, getting out of shape, anything past rounds 8, quite frankly. Reyes, again, almost had him out of there, and he had him in trouble as well in the 6th round, which I think are important to note. Rosas versus Valdez, which was his last fights here. Man, he looked disciplined in his stance in this fight. I will say, I think Rosas showed fight over fight improvement with his head movement, really disciplined stance, and he kept his shape a little bit better into the later rounds. I felt he utilized his jab far better in this fight. Again, he's a hellacious body puncher, not a great levels puncher. What do I mean when I say levels punching? He doesn't necessarily put together the head and the body punching together, but what he does do is he will rip the body in combination, go up, rip the head, come back and rip the body in combination. It's not really like a head, body, head. It's more of an all body or all head kind of punching style. Round 10, he was really pushing with arm punches, and it just showed a little bit of signs of fatigue and slower feet, which it seems to be a recurring theme for Rosas. And I think that has to do with his long historied amateur career. As we know, he has over 350 amateur fights and only 3-round fights. It kind of conditions you to push this high pace for 3 rounds and go from there. My overall thoughts on Rosas: incredible body puncher, great feet on the front foot, leaves a lot to be desired defensively, showed a lot of improvement fight over fight, has a shitload to deal with. He just gives you a shitload to deal with in the first 6 rounds. A lot of volume, and he puts a lot out there. Super sneaky uppercut. He defensively and his cardio specifically leave a lot to be desired in the later rounds, 7 through 12. Solid fighter, but I don't necessarily think he's world level. Let's talk about Takami here. Takami versus, again, finding tape for this guy was a little bit hard, so I'm going to give you all the tape that I could find and in subsections that I could find it. Takami versus Ray Alacaba. Really athletic first step. He had a little bit of b-ball to him, I noticed. Maybe not in terms of pendulum stepping, but how he bounces from the front foot to the other and uses kinetic chain to punch with. He has really good punching mechanics, really good base, and a really good frame. Let's see here. He does let his shoulders float. He doesn't really let his shoulders float past his knees in the earlier stages of fights, but there are times in the later ends of the fight where he let his shoulders float past his knees. He has a really piston-like jab. He uses it too really well to frame, which I appreciate. He frames off of his opponents and he'll punch off the frame and uppercut off the frame. His fight against Talhazi, I am horrible with that pronunciation, the Filipino. He winged hella shots, especially body shots. Super solid right hand that he was finding over the top, which, as I mentioned with many Pacman, really susceptible to the right hand, really susceptible to the right overhand too as well. He does exit with his chin high, which is a little bit to be desired in terms of defense, and he can be susceptible to being hit with the body. Again, solid framing, fires off, incredibly good slip dip left hook to the body, which is probably his most impressive, in my opinion, his most impressive punch. His slip dip left hook to the head or the body, either which one. Really good levels puncher. He will punch both to the body and head in combination and mix them up as well. He has a rocket of a right hand, which I think is going to be an issue here for Rosas all night. And I think both these fighters, I've already said it 3 times, so I'm going to say it a 4th time, leave a lot to be desired defensively. He will fight in the middle of the ring, doesn't necessarily move forward or backward. He likes to control the real estate, quite frankly, in the middle of the ring. Doesn't like to have his back on the ropes, especially not in this fight. In the Lito Dante fight, though, I will say he fought far more off the back foot. And again, I only saw this from one camera angle. It was like someone filming from their home angle. He fought off the back foot, was holding real estate really well. His 1-2 is money this whole fight, right down the pipe, perfect and clean. And he has really light feet for someone that can punch. So for a puncher, Takami has really good feet. And one thing, too, that we have to talk about when it comes to Takami, he can go through the gears. When he hurts you, he knows he hurts you, and then he turns it up a notch. Has it through 3, 3, 3. Now I'm on gear 4. Oh, shit, you're rocked. Gear 5, we're flying on the highway, baby. He smells blood in the water, and he's a hunter at that point. I love his finishing instinct. So overall, super strong 1-2, great at holding real estate. I don't think he's going to have too much of a problem not getting pushed back in this fight, especially being the fact that Erick Rosa is a former minimum weight, meaning that Takami, even though he's not huge for the weight, will still be the naturally bigger guy. His killer instinct is absolutely incredible. Solid levels puncher. He has a money right hand, absolutely money right hand. And I think the most important part of this fight, gears. I don't think Erick Rosa has fought anybody that's been able to go through the gears. Uriel Reyes had 1 gear the whole fight, and that was rip, 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 get hit, and then rip right back. It's kind of the same thing I saw with, I'm sorry about his last fight while I'm forgetting at it, Aguel or Nadiel. He was getting caught with the right hand repeatedly, getting ripped to the body repeatedly. And someone like Takami, who not only rips the left hand to the body, has one of the best slipped left hands and left hooks to the body. He's going to have money with that overhand right all day while setting that up. For the first 6 rounds, I think Rosa is going to be a really hard puzzle. Maybe not puzzle, but he's going to be a handful for Takami to figure out. Takami and him are going to be in a firefight for 6 rounds. I know they're both going to plant their feet and move. But the minute that Rosa starts to slow down, expect Takami to really take over. I love Takami rounds 7 through 12 stoppage here. I'm not going to give an actual number on the actual round itself here, but don't be surprised to see Takami get a late stoppage here. Once Rosa starts to slow down, his own body work take effect and maybe himself punch himself out. Again, you saw with the Reyes fight and that Nadiel fight too as well. Rosas gets hit. Even against Vic Salador, which you had to go years ago. Vic Salador rocked him in the 12th round, I believe, or the 11th round and hurt him really bad. Someone like Takami, if he rocks you in the 9th or the 12th round when you're already gassed out, your feet are already slowed, and your defensive mechanisms are already down, he's going to finish you. I feel pretty confident Takami getting the finish this weekend. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you have different thoughts on the fight, please let me know. I really love breaking down Japanese boxing, especially these lower weight classes. So if this is something you guys would like to see more of, please let me know. Again, I'm sorry.